Good morning, children. How are you all? I'm Radhika, biology teacher at Dr. Dixon School. Hope you have been watching the videos that I'm sending to you regularly. So, see, till now we have studied about the different organelles of the cell, okay, and how they perform. Okay, we could observe the onion peel cells or the human cheek cells, then the nucleus. Okay, and what the cell contains, isn't it? Major differences also I had told in the previous video about the plant cell and the animal cell. So how the plant cell is different from the animal cell? Basically, the plant cell would have the cell wall, which is absent in the animal cell. Then the plant cell has got a large central vacuole, which is absent in the animal cells. If at all the vacuoles are present, they are very small and few in the many in the animal cells. Okay. Then we had seen that there are certain organelles called as the chloroplasts, which are present in the plant cells and absent in the animal cells. These are needed for photosynthesis, which is very unique to the plant cells, isn't it? So these are the basic differences we had studied in the previous unit. Now let us go to the next part that is very interesting, that is diversity. Diversity means what here? A variety. Are we all same? We all are different, isn't it? All human beings, if you compare, we all come in different colors. Okay, creeds, that is heights are different, shapes are different, basic structure could be little bit same, but we all are different from each other. Same thing we can find in the animals also and plants also. Same variety of plant may not be the same. If you see a mango tree, it could be very tall, some are shorter, like that, isn't it? So everything is not same. Okay, and why we all are not same? That's because our chromosomes, that is in the nucleus that we have studied in the previous unit or the previous video, contains those characteristics which are unique. Later in another chapter we shall be studying in detail why we all are different. Now why I have taken this topic? The cells are also not same throughout the organism. Say if we are there, do you think all the cells in my body would be same? No. If you consider the plant, there also the other cells are not same. But before going even into that, do all organisms contain many cells or few cells? No, all organisms do not contain many cells. Okay, there are certain organisms which are made up of only a single cell. Okay, in the beginning of the chapter I had told, what are those organisms? Can you recollect? Okay, based on number of cells, organisms can be divided into two types. Okay, they are unicellular. Uni means anything made up of single. So unicellular, that is containing made up. They are made up of only one cell. Okay, and the second examples for these one-celled organisms are bacteria. That is the best example. Okay, the smallest cells also bacteria. Okay, bacteria. Then you have got unicellular plants. For example, some algae are there. Some algae like Chlamydomonas. Okay, so many new words you are getting, isn't it? Okay, Chlamydomonas, Volvox, or you can write Spirogyra. Again, in third chapter, we are going to study in detail about these. Okay, if you consider it is the animals, that is amoeba. Okay, Euglena, etc. These are the plants or animals, the organisms which are made up of a single cell. Okay, now we shall see those which are made up of many cells. They are called as multicellular. They are called as multicellular organisms. So they are made up of many cells. Okay. Examples what we can write? Can we write human beings? You can write all animals. Except for these all animals. Okay, except for the unicellular animals, rest of the animals are made up of many cells. Then all plants, except for the few algae, all plants are made up of many cells. Okay, like this we see that the organisms may be made up of a single cell or many cells. If they are made up of a single cell, we call them as unicellular organisms. If they are made up of many cells, they are called as multicellular organisms. Okay, so you have understood this. So now, please note this down. We shall further go and learn about the shape, a variety of shapes they could have. Do they have the same shape? No. Each organism, within the organism also the shapes will vary. Now how the shapes would vary? Based on what the shapes would vary? The shapes would vary depending upon the function of the cell. Okay, the shapes of the cells in the organism, if it is a multicellular organism, the functions of the cells are not same. Okay, see, if you want to move, what do you do? What is needed in your body? Just think and tell. You need to move your bones and muscles, isn't it? Then the bone structure would be same or different? Just think, how is your bone? It's very hard, isn't it? But your muscles, are they hard? No. Your skin, how it is? It's softer, isn't it? But and it is like tough also here. The outer surface of the skin would be tougher, isn't it? Why do you think they are all like that? That depends upon their function. Okay, the function of the bones is to give the mechanical support to the body. Okay, it forms the framework of the body. It holds the whole body together. For that's the reason it is very hard. If you consider the muscles, they are more flexible. They have to continuously, just like our rubber band, they have to continuously contract and relax for the movement of the body. Bones on their own, they cannot move. So for that, the muscles would help. They would hold the bones and they in turn would move, help in the movement of the bones. So for that reason, the muscles have to be more elastic in nature. Okay, like that. Then we have got the blood cells. In our body, the blood flows, isn't it? So how the blood would flow? Is it solid or liquid? It's liquid. That means what? The liquid. So within the blood, there are types of cells. What is their function? Their function is to carry their substances. Whatever food we are eating, the digested food to the cells. Then from the cells, the waste materials. Okay, like that, different substances. They are the carriers or the transport system of our body. So their shape would be completely different as they have to pass through the narrowest pipelines in our body. How we are having the pipelines in the outside. Okay, the water goes, is transported to each and every household in the cities, isn't it? Just like that, our body contains the blood vessels which will carry the blood. Okay, so as they are very narrow ones or wide ones, through that the cells have to pass. So for that reason, their shape would be different. So a variety of shapes we can identify. Please note this down. Have you completed? So we shall go to the shapes of the organism, shapes of the cells. Okay, I shall draw few diagrams. You all have to draw the diagrams. Okay, in this part, the diagrams can be asked in the given in the exam and asked. Okay, so we shall see. Here, I shall draw unicellular. See, if at all you got the textbook. See page number 20. The first one, that is Chlamydomonas. The heading for this would be different shapes of the cells. You got very good time, so you can practice the diagrams. Different shapes of cells. Okay. See here, I shall draw Chlamydomonas. Okay. See how it is. Do you expect that this is a plant? Do you expect that this is a plant? See, what is this one? Do you expect that this is a plant? But it doesn't appear like a plant. It appears somewhat like a worm, isn't it? But this is a unicellular plant, unicellular organism present in the water. Okay. The green colored layers that you find on the water, isn't it? Stagnant water. Like that, this is a green colored one which you find on the water bodies. Okay, that is the name of this is Chlamydomonas. Okay, this is what is this is chloroplast. Later in ninth class we shall be studying in detail about the chloroplast. This is nucleus. Okay, the uniqueness of this is that it is able to move around in the water. This is what it is able to move with the help of this flagella. These structures are called as flagella. See, we generally think that the plants cannot move around, isn't it? But this Chlamydomonas can move in the water with the help of these flagella. How they are? See, when you are rowing the boat, the boatman would have the oars, the long stick-like structures. Do you remember or not? They are called as the oars. So with that, he would be pushing the water backwards, and the boat moves forward. Isn't it? Just like that, this single-celled organism, which are called as the flagella. Okay, nucleus and the cup-shaped chloroplast. That chloroplast is for the photosynthesis, and it has got a unique shape. Like that you can see. Now another one I shall draw, which is an animal. The speciality of this is that, okay, it does not have any particular shape. Okay, this uniqueness of this animal is that it does not have any particular shape. Okay, that means what? You all eat jellies, isn't it? If you drop it anywhere, would it change however it wants or not? Okay, like that you could see that okay, and throughout the cell you can find jelly like substance. Okay, so it is in any shape you can draw this cell. You need not draw in the same shape I have drawn, because practically it doesn't have any particular shape. So this this cell is called as amoeba. It is a unique animal, unicellular animal. Okay, it doesn't have any particular shape. However, it wants, it can move around. So what? As it does not have any shape, but what happens? These structures that are there, they'll extend to the side they want to move. Okay, just like the way we extend our legs. Okay, but we have legs which can be identified and we have got a particular shape. But as this does not have any shape, that those feet-like structures are called as pseudopodia. Okay, it will extend however it wants. It wants to go that side, it will extend like that. It wants to come this side, like this side, the body will extend and occupy the whole area and move like that. So you see, if you put the jelly, you can push it whichever direction and whichever side you want or not with a needle. So does it have a particular shape? No, it will not have, as it would be moving and acquiring new shapes. So this animal also does not have any particular shape, but the body, however, it is moving, so that appears like feet. Okay, and but they are not the true feet. That's why we give the name pseudopodia. Podia means feet. The meaning for this is feet. Pseudo anything means false. So it is having false feet. Okay, and I told that if at all in the animals the vacuoles are there, then they can be small ones and many could be there. Okay, contractile vacuoles, and this we consider as the food vacuole. That means it will take the food from the surrounding water. This is also aquatic, it doesn't live outside. So it will take the food from the surrounding water and it is taken in this food vacuole. Later it is digested and whatever waste comes, that is sent outside through the contractile vacuole. Okay. So false fit you all have written. I just rub this part. See what is the meaning of pseudopodia. Okay. Next, nucleus. This is nucleus. This is amoeba. Okay. So amoeba is shapeless and it tries to push the body however and whichever direction it wants, and that is called as pseudopodia. It has got nucleus like that, it has got contractile vacuole, foot vacuole. Okay, that is a speciality. Now we shall draw the bacterium. Different shapes, sizes would be there in bacteria. That we shall be studying in third lesson. For now, we shall draw few bacteria. Okay, these are rod-shaped bacteria that cause some common diseases in us. Okay. Do you find any complicated structure in the bacteria? There is no complicated structure. They are very, very simple. Okay. So this is rod-shaped bacteria or bacillus bacteria, and this is rod-shaped. So we call this as bacillus. Bacillus means bacillus is singular, bacilli is plural. Okay, bacillus means rod shaped. Okay, third chapter we shall be studying more about these. Okay, these are the bacteria which are rod shaped. Okay, apart from this, what other shapes we can learn? Okay, shall I rub it off? Just draw the diagrams. These diagrams are very important in the exam. The diagrams would be given and ask you to identify. Okay? Over? Okay. Next, I shall draw further diagrams of different cells. That could be, see, whatever I have drawn till now, they are all unicellular. These are all unicellular organisms. Now I shall draw the shapes of the cells that are present in multicellular organisms having different shapes. Okay, in animals, what shapes we can get? See, we have got the muscles in the hands and legs, isn't it? They are called as the striated muscles or striped muscles or skeletal muscles. As they are supporting our bones for the movement, they are called as striated muscles or striped muscles. Okay, so they have a typical structure that is cylindrical. They are cylindrical in nature. Okay, just like as if many. Okay, and between them they have partitions, so they are all tightly packed with each other. Okay, and throughout the length you could find the bands. Okay, here, or else I will just draw one line of such cells, not too many, so that you don't have any such confusion. So here you can see. Okay, so these are typical. These are all arranged one above one after the other, isn't it, in the cylindrical manner. So you could find the striations on that. Okay, those striations are nothing but the different types of proteins that you shall be studying in higher classes. So these proteins would contract and relax, that helps in the movement of the muscles. Okay, so their movement helps in extending the muscles forward and backward. Okay, that in turn helps. Each and every activity we carry out in the body, okay, needs the muscular action, and those muscles will contain such types of cells. In the beginning, what we have studied, what we have drawn was how typical in the animals. I told that they are polygonal in nature. Okay, and in the animal cells, I told that they are more or less hexagonal or rectangular with a cell wall. But as we study more and more, we see that there are a variety of cells. Now, apart from this, we shall draw another one that is not like this completely. So they are somewhat like this. See how the tapering ends they are having. Are they having similar to that? No. Are they having those striations? No. They are having a spindle shaped cell. Okay, and the central nucleus. Okay. So these are the striated muscle cells. striated or skeletal muscles or skeletal muscles. And these are smooth muscles. They are non-striated or smooth muscles. You don't find such stripes in this, isn't it? That's why we call them as smooth muscle cells. Okay, where are these present? They are present in the internal organs, like in our stomach, intestine, even within the face also, inside the mouth, within the tongue, okay, within the cheeks, okay, within all this what is that, esophagus or the digestive tract, inside the neck, okay, or similarly inside our breathing respiratory tract, okay, as the air flows in the lungs, okay, stomach, intestines, all the internal organs, they would be present, and they are called as the smooth muscles. Why they are like that, all that we shall be studying in 9th class. Now it is not needed. Okay, the next one I shall draw is the red blood cells. Okay, just now I told that the red blood cells are needed to be carrying the food materials, isn't it? So one view you can find that they are spherical in nature, isn't it? Spherical but biconcave. That means on both sides they would be pressed. They can be pressed easily as they have to pass through the blood vessels, narrow blood vessels. You can see. Okay. So this is the side view, this is the front view, like this they would appear. So easily they can pass through the narrow, very narrow, thinner than the hair, into that even the microscopic blood vessels they are able to transport. They can be transported easily. That's why they are having this particular shape. So they are red blood cells. Okay, next one we shall see is within the blood only are all cells same? No. They are like that, but others may have a different type of nucleus. Okay. The red blood cell does not have any nucleus. Okay. Whereas others are having different shaped nucleus. Okay. Monocyte is having a large nucleus. Okay. Lymphocyte could be having a spherical nucleus in the center. Okay. Then you have neutrophils. We have many lobes. Okay. The nucleus would be having many lobes. Okay. Like this, it could be present. In the other one is eosinophil. It have less lobes. Relobed nucleus. Okay. So these are all the different, these are all white blood cells. That is red blood cells. In 9th class we shall be studying about each one separately. Red blood cells and white blood cells. Among them, this one is a monocyte. These are types of blood cells. Okay, this is monocyte. This is lymphocyte. Okay, 9th and 10th class you shall be understanding neutrophils. Neutrophils. Sir, please check once. Neutrophils. This is eosinophils. Eosinophil. Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So here you see that a variety of cells are present, isn't it? So do they all have the same shape and all? They are all having varied shapes. So why the varied shapes? That depends upon their function. Okay, one more interesting one I have not drawn. That also I shall draw. Then we shall go to the next one. Okay. Our bone cells, how they are? They are star shaped. I will take another color for the bone cells. Here shall I draw? Yeah. Inside that we have got a spherical nucleus. Okay. So these are human bone cells. These also further could be branched. Okay, they may further branch out like this. Okay. Your typical bone cell is different. In the bone cells, there will be hard substances like calcium salts, calcium carbonate, and other salts will be stored inside. That makes it very strong. Okay, now the smooth cells I told that for the movement. The red blood cells, all these are for transportation of substances, and white blood cells are for protection. Okay, in detail we should be studying in ninth class why they are there for protection and how they help out. Okay, one more important cell that I would like to draw is the nerve cell. Shall I rub it off? Okay, I shall rub it off, or here I shall draw a typical nerve cell. What is this nerve cell? How our body is controlled. All the activities we carry out in the body. Okay, they'll be controlled or not. There should be some control mechanism. Okay, for that control mechanism, we have got certain cells. Okay, those cells are the nerve cells. The brain would be controlling all this. Okay, and the brain has to reach to each and every part of the body, isn't it? It is connected to every part, each and every part of our body. Okay, for that it has to send the messages. Okay, and for transporting the or transmitting the messages, it has to have particular type of cells. So for that, how it has got? It has got the Levy cells. Okay, so this is the nerve cell. The cells are long. Okay, they are one of the longest cells. Approximately, see here on page number 23 it is given, approximately it will be 90 to 100 centimeters. The longest nerve cell would be from the backbone, okay, from this region of the backbone to the tip of your leg. Okay, that is consisting of one single nerve cell. Okay, the longest of all. And why they are longest? They have to reach to each and every part and quickly send the messages to that. Okay, and again take back also, taking and sending. For that reason, they are very, very long. Okay, and then which is the largest cell? Which is the largest cell? The largest cell in the world is that of the egg of ostrich. So I just rub it off. Shall I rub? Okay, please note it down in your notebooks. Okay. Now I shall rub it off and we shall see which are the largest cells and the smallest cells. The smallest cell is that of the bacterium, which is around 0.1 microns or micrometers. What is this micrometer? Okay, the micrometer means it is approximately 10 to the power minus 6 meters. 10 to the power minus 6 meters. Okay, so see here on page number 22, we have got a table that shapes you have to write. I will not write that, already you have seen. So I just want that you have to write the shapes. Already I have given the diagrams. So I just want to make want that you make a table. You have to make a table here. What is given on the text in the textbook, page number 22. If at all you don't have, you have to write like this. Okay, I just give the headings, then you have to write. Okay, here you have got name of the cell, name of the cell. Okay, then shape, what you observed, parts observed, whatever parts you have observed you write. I will not write, you have to write and send a picture. Okay, for example, we have seen the RBC. RBC, what all you could observe? Could you observe the nucleus there? No. Muscle, what you could observe? Muscle cell, nerve cell. Then bone cell, what is the shape and all you have to write. Okay, white blood cells. Okay, this is 3, 4, this is 5. So you could see so many things you have to fill on your own. Next you can see the size of the cell. As I told, bacteria has got a cell size. So you just write size of the cells. Bacteria is 0.01 to zero point 0.5 micrometers to 0.05 micrometers. You should know the size, basic size at least. Okay, next one. Okay, then liver or kidney cell. In our body, the liver or kidney cells could be made up of 20 to 30. 20 to 30 micro. We can represent micro with this. Okay, this unit. This is micro. So I'm just writing that. So here one table is given, 1 meter is 100 centimeters, like that. We can write 1 micrometer. For our convenience, we can write 1 micrometer is equal to, okay, we can write 1000 nanometers. Nanometers. Okay, or one more is 1 micrometer, I told that is equal to 10 to the power minus 6 meters. You can remember this. Okay, now which is the largest cell I told? Egg of ostrich. Egg of ostrich is having how much? 17 centimeters into 18 centimeters. Okay, so that itself is a single cell. So the eggs you see are made up of a single cell. So variety of shapes, sizes and all we have seen, and all these shapes and sizes depend upon the function. And if it is a multicellular organism, the number of cells only will vary but not the size of the cells. If it is an elephant, it is not made up of a large number of large size cells, but number of cells is more. Okay, millions and millions of cells, but the cell size will be same. Understood? So you have to do all the work and send the photo to me. Okay, whatever homework I send, please send the photo to me. Thank you.